My name is.
Hey, welcome everyone. This is Apostle Tina McCrae. I'm Dr. Tina McCrae Without a Trace Ministries. And as you know, we actually run a Wellness Wednesday program for people living with dementia and their caregivers. And for those who are on my radio program, it's Truth of the Day with Coach Tina McCrae. And I believe that this program and this topic that I have for you all today is going to cover again across the board because I have a special guest with me today. For those who are seeing the video, we call each other cousins, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I have this gentleman that's on today is Joe Crawford. And Joe has basically become a member of our family because, I met Joe probably back in 2017 and we needed to get coverage from my mom. And mama just fell in love with Joe. He answered all her questions. He was able to calm all her fears. And, for me, I'm retired now. And for people who are needing Medicare, this is an open enrollment time. And I thought, what a good topic to talk about with it being Wellness Wednesday, what we do. And so I asked Joe if he would be willing to come on and share some key points. Now, I want to make sure before anybody tries some cancel culture on us, number one, we're not selling stuff today. And number two, Joe is a broker. I have an insurance background for people who don't. Brokers don't sell you one company, or push a product. They have an array of information and products that they can share to meet the client's needs. And that's why our family basically adopted Joe. So I'm going to let Joe introduce himself and tell you more about his background. But Joe, I want to thank you for coming on today for Wellness Wednesday and Truth of the Day.
I sure appreciate it. I really count it an honor and a privilege. Well, first of all, I've been a broker for since 1999. I was more so into life insurance, but maybe about I've been in Medicare about 10 years. And one of the main things that I see about a lot of people is make a lot of people nervous hearing about Medicare. One of the first things that I would tell you is this: when you was working on a regular job, uh, you would see on your paycheck it would say Medicare, and so many of us was were paying into Medicare pretty much all the time you was working, and that uh, actually when you become old enough, which is the age of 65, uh, you are eligible for Medicare because it actually on the Part A. And
Mm.
okay, yes, on Part A. And so you are eligible to get that red, white, and blue card. However, usually 3 months before or a little before that, you will receive a letter either from Social Security or Medicare. And usually they're asking you certain information. They wanting you to, uh, well, let me clarify something. Part A is in hospital. So that part that you was taken out, that was taken out of your check, was going to Medicare. That's Part A. Now, when you receive that letter, it's going to tell you, do you want to sign up for Part B, which is outpatient. And so you at this time, at this point in time, I think it's about 178. It would take out a month, and that would make you a full eligible Medicare person, which is having Part A, which is in care, and Part B, which is out care. That's called original Medicare.
Mm.
Now, uh, usually you got 3 months before your birthday month and 3 months after to sign up. Now, when you are eligible, you can go ahead and sign up, and that's Part A and Part B. Now, the part that you see a lot of these commercials, you see you see that you can get Part C. Part C is basically Medicare Advantage. That what
Ah,
uh-huh. That's where
okay.
you can get the other benefits that you had when you was working a job. You get dental, vision, hearing. You also some plans you can get gym membership, which is
Yep.
all this is covered. Any questions before I go on?
Well, and you've really helped us a lot because I was like the red. You really explained that red, white, and blue card, and I know people are wishing that we were on live because I wish I was too. Now that I hear it, 'cause I know people have questions, but we're gonna bring Joe back. Y'all put the questions in the chat, and then I'll make sure Joe gets these questions, and I'll come back with a Wellness Wednesday again and bring you all the responses they has, and we'll bring them back. And so, first of all, you cleared up red, white, and blue card because we didn't know. I didn't know well, I didn't know even that the age to get the red, white, and blue, that was 65. And then one is outpatient, one is hospital. A is hospitalization, B is outpatient. And then C, that was where I was like, so I was in my mind, I'm like, so where does Medicare Advantage come from? And so then that's part C, but that's the piece you got to pay for. So well, you got to pay for B and C. Is that right? Talk to us about it again. So that's the piece that gets everybody going. Because if it's open enrollment, what's coming out of people's social security check and though I'm sure those are questions too because I'm like, do I pay for A, B, and C, or what am I paying for? How does that work?
It's a great question. Part A, like I said, it was taken out of your check for all the years you was working on the job. And
Okay.
so you don't have to pay for Part A. But Part B, that's the part that is usually once you retire is taken out of your Social Security check. 100 and right now I think it's like $178 a
Okay.
month. And a lot of plans nowadays, like I said, I'm a broker. I deal with a lot of your plans are zero premiums, and so
Mm,
you just pay that 178 a month. Now, so I'm just Medicare is a federal is federal, and so that is like I said, it's federal. Now there's some people who make less than a certain amount, which is the poverty level. I think the poverty level is under 1,100 now. If you make under that, some people qualify for Medicaid, which is the state, and that is called DSNP or special needs patient. And
gotcha.
uh,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's where the state helps with your premiums. It helps with your medications, and so uh, that is a that is another plan. So it's really some more we go into, but I'm just going to deal with the Medicare and the Medicare Advantage. That is the average person who make over the poverty level. Most of us who make over that amount don't qualify for the Medicaid, but there is still a lot of benefits in the Medicare.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, so I know some people might have questions about Medicaid. We'll bring you back for that conversation. But the key point is open enrollment. So let's
Hmm.
talk about open enrollment because you got to enroll in Part B. Or
Right.
what talk about that because when did open enrollment start, and what should people know about open enrollment right now?
That's a great question. Medicare opening is called AEP, Annual Enrollment Period. That is the period from October 15th to December 7th. That is the period that people in Medicare that you can change plans. So that's the period to change your plan. If you want to change a plan to get in a plan, that is the period to do it. And and you can actually, to be honest, you can change as many times during that period. But is that's where I want to give a quick little side note because a lot of people that people who does what I do, they know when people turn 65 or they get lists of people who are 65 and older, and you'll get all these calls. but I'm gonna tell you a little trick. This trick is, well, it's not really a trick, but find you a broker or and somebody or agent that you can talk to, so you can just shut that down. Just when we have an unwritten code that if a client said that they have a broker or agent, that they will let you. They should let you go. They shouldn't keep trying to sell you anything.
Tell you stuff.
And
Yeah, I'm
so,
starting to get text messages now where
yeah.
people are texting me and all this. And I'm like, how they even get my number? And
Well,
so, what's the difference? Talk about the difference between a broker and an agent.
an agent is usually they are individual, or they up under a certain company, represent a certain company, one particular company. But a broker deals with multiple companies. And so, you represent multiple companies. So that's the difference between an agent and a broker.
And so when we got with you, you could lay out all the products before us, and then we could pick the best one for us. And
Right.
then you would turn us over to an agent that worked for that particular company that we selected. Is that
That's right.
correct? Hmm.
Or I might represent it, but I'm with an agency, so I have other agents that work with me. And so if I
Hmm.
don't do it, I will give it to someone that's in my agency, who's in my
Can do
agency.
it.
Hmm.
It's awesome. Okay, and so remember, y'all, open enrollment is October the 15th to December is it
Yeah.
7th? December
Hmm.
7th. So get in there. Don't wait till the last minute. Get somebody that you can call, and I'll make sure we can put up Joe's contact information. What are some gotchas, Joe, that people make mistakes with when they go through open enrollment? Are the things people don't know to ask?
Um, well, some of the things that I see is that you think that you're locked in. Um, you can change doctors, you can change dentists, you can change. You're not just stuck. You can change once. Some of the things you can change. You don't have. You're not stuck once you pick a doctor or you pick a uh, uh, or a dentist. You can change, and also, which is OEP. That's January 1st to March 15th. If you don't like the plan that you're in, you got another option that you can change again in uh, from January 1st to March 15th. You can
Oh,
change. You say, I don't like this plan. It's not. I don't like how their customer service. I don't like this, and you can make another change again from in those months. So you're not just stuck once you pick a plan and AEP, which is annual
okay.
enrollment period. You can, if you don't like it, you try it out in the month of January or February. You see that you don't like it, you can make a change, and you can choose another plan, and you're not
And
stuck.
I like that because I know we had to do that when mom, she selected a particular one and she didn't
Hmm.
like how they paid claims or something like that. And we switched to another one and the
Right.
benefits were different. And then also, can a person, when they're picking Medicare, how do they, the broker can also make sure that that person's doctors, because let's say somebody retires and they're like, oh man, I'm going to this Medicare stuff. And now what's going to happen if I love my doctors? And I don't know how to know if my doctors, am I going to still be able to go to my doctors with this Medicare, with Medicare, the A and B, will I be able to do that? Or am I going to have to get C to do that?
Uh, Actually, like I said, you don't have to have C. Uh, you have A and B. That's original Medicare. It's some people. I think your mother had to deal with when she went to that she had to get original, go back to
Hmm.
original.
Yeah.
So you still have benefits in that, but the benefit of C is that you get A and B, and you get the extra benefits of dental. You get all the benefits of A, and you get all the benefits of B. But with C, you get dental, vision, and hearing. So you have all of
Oh, I get it. I'm sorry. It's
it.
taking me a while. So with B, you got your primary care right there.
Right.
And you could have, maybe if I have to go, if some people have to go to specialists, they can use
Right.
B for the specialist.
Right.
So C is more for vision, dental, and hearing.
But you also have all the benefits of what you have in A and B as
Okay,
well.
and then you got the gym membership and stuff like that. So it's extra
Right.
perks per se.
Yes.
Okay, I get it now. Thank you so much for clarifying that.
Yeah.
And then remember, y'all, he said that if you get in January, from January to March, if you decide you don't want to, that you want to change, you can do that. All
Yeah.
right. So you don't have to worry about, you should check though, make sure that your doctors, um, if they're not, what do people do if their doctors aren't in it? Can they find a Medicare Advantage plan that might have their doctors in it that might not be on B?
That's correct. I want yeah, all of the pretty much like I said, that's part of the agent slash broker is to make sure your doctor, your medication, and all of that is covered under the plan that you get. And uh, that's all the broker or the agent that they should make sure that what we used to try to do is what we call a needs analysis. You find out what's best for the client, and you hear all their needs, and you look for a plan that's best suited for that particular customer.
That's good. So caregivers and people living with dementia, and if you're not living with dementia, if you're a senior citizen or you're a person that's needing this Medicare, think about your needs. What do I want? What do I need? Because at the end of the day, you need to advocate for yourself. And you need to be able to say to your broker or agent, do you provide a needs? Before they jump into selling, you first thing, let's talk about my needs. Let's do a needs analysis. So if they're not coming at you with that needs analysis first and they're just trying to sell you something, you back it up and say, "Hey, I want to do a needs analysis. I want to tell you what I need." And if they keep pushing, guess what you do? Push them right on out the door and get you another broker or agent. Because just like he said, you could change doctors, you can change uh, different
Agent,
companies and the carriers of coverage. You can change your agent and your broker.
that's
Because we
correct.
had somebody before Joe, and I was like, you know what, get out of here. And so I ended up getting Joe. And so we were tough. We was ready for him, but he was ready for us. He's so sweet and humble. So I really appreciate you again
Yeah.
sharing that. Now, what's some other things that you want to share with us, that key things that people should know about Medicare?
Uh, I uh, what I've seen just on the climate of what's going on right now, uh, the, it was set up, the original Medicare and Medicare Advantage was set up. They really treat seniors for the most part better than when you was working on a job. A lot of the plans you have, most of us when we were working, you didn't know what you really had. It was just kind of vague. But in Medicare Advantage, at most of the time these plans are pretty much laid out, and they really try to take care of our seniors. They have these governing bodies, which is called CMS, that it really they don't like you taking advantage of seniors, and so that's one of the things that it's really good plans. Some of these have they have chronic plans, they have, chronic plans like if you're dealing with diabetes or have dealt with it, your doctor can verify that, or heart problems, and you make too much money. And a lot of times, they got plans that you get some significant benefits with, and
Okay.
so that's why, like I said, I take a needs analysis, and like I said, they take care of our seniors. I'm cautious of certain things that's in the move that we don't know how that's going to take place, but that's why you need a broker to let you know the climate, what's going on, because there probably will be some changes coming up in the next few years, but that's where your agent slash broker keep you in the now and you know what's going on.
I love it because you know what, Joe, we're doing I love you use that word because we're in a series right now in our Bible study called Now, the Time is Now.
Right.
And so we need to be in the know now. And
Right.
so that was one of the concerns I had, and I was giving you an opportunity to bring it up. And that is, we've been hearing about, there's how do I want to put it? There is a spirit of fear that is constantly being put out in the atmosphere.
That's
And
true.
some stuff is not even true, but we won't know that if we don't have somebody that knows the facts. And that's
Yeah.
another reason why I brought you on, because I
Right.
said to you, hey, as a broker, you got to stay up on what's happening in
Right.
our current climate. So we hear about cuts, cuts, and cuts. So in 2026, you said down the road, but when 2026, as we're going into annual enrollment or even the open or optional enrollment, will the cuts, we've been hearing about cuts with Medicaid and stuff, but will people feel it in this upcoming year of enrollment, in your opinion?
Well, we have kind of, the one thing that is about to happen, I see with the, what you call it, food stamps. I think some people are going to feel that within the next month. Uh,
Oh, with SNAP, you talking?
yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Now, was that part of the
It's not really
Medicare?
a part of it, but
Yeah.
in your needs analysis, you want to know, did this person need, are they having challenges with food? Because there are some plans that have food
Oh yeah,
cards.
that's true. That's true. Did you all hear that? I want to make sure you heard that. Some of those plans, Medicare Advantage plans, have food cards. My mom had one. So
Right.
you're right. And that did come in handy.
Yeah.
The food cards and even the it's some kind of thing they have where there's a certain um in certain, without trying to sound we selling stuff, but in certain pharmacies, you
Over
got
the
a
counter.
certain, yeah, you got an over-the-counter thing that gave you
Mhm.
a discount in over-the-counter. You could shop so much over-the-counter products, or they even shipped them to her after a while. One
That's right.
company, one cover she had, they actually shipped. We could go in the booklet and pick those over-the-counter things that she needed. So as a caregiver, y'all caregivers, check into that to make sure does your loved one have, if they have Medicare Advantage, ask about OTC, that over-the-counter coverage or whatever it's called, because you can use a little booklet. You don't even have to go to the store because some you can't get out. You can go through that thing and order it every quarter, every month, or however they have it set up. And that was a blessing. I do remember that.
Uh, cousin, I'm a cousin, like you said, and also one of the cheaper ways on your medication is a lot cheaper to get the mail pharmacy for 90 days, 60. Usually it's 90 days, and it's cheaper. Your medication is cheaper, and it comes to your door, and so that
Yeah.
is cheaper as well.
Yeah, we call each other cousin because Joe said I remind him of cousin that he has, and so we
Mhm.
just started calling. When I call him, it's your cousin Tina, and so he knows it's me. So so if y'all hear us calling each other cousin, that's why. So I think those are some good things. I wish we had people on to ask questions. So what we'll do again, you put your question in the chat, and there's been times when I have some guests on. Y'all put your questions in the chat. I need to see that dialogue, and we'll make sure we get these questions to Joe, and we'll bring him back to even answer. If we get a lot of questions, we'll bring him back on.
Yeah.
Now, I know you did mention, so there's some cuts that we're going to see. Like you said, that's going to be to more the food deficiencies, and but if you know that you're getting cut in your food stamps or SNAP program, then you should talk to your insurance agent and broker about that in this enrollment because you might be able to get some food help there. That's a blessing, and I forgot about that. What's another thing that you think people need to know, Joe, in the time we got remaining to that they might need to know about this enrollment? Then we may do another show separate about Medicaid to talk
Okay.
about that.
Okay, well, one of the things is especially as you're getting closer to 65, that's one, is those letters that come in your mail. I know you see a lot of letters, but when you certain ones with Social Security or Medicare, if don't throw that away. Don't pay attention to those letters because some of those are very important. You get penalized if you don't get in. For example, if you're still working and you're Medicare age, uh, 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 you're pretty much covered from penalties. But if you're not working and uh, you need to go ahead and you need to get because you'll be penalized for not signing up when you had an opportunity to sign up for Medicare.
Really?
And so
Really?
don't let those slip. And if you don't understand it, that's what your agent broker can look over your paperwork. And if you need to certain things you need to do, and like I said, and sometimes you know if you have a good plan that you're in, you know you're still working, put it up against a Medicare Advantage plan. If you put apples to apples, and you see that that your job plan is better, and you have that for the rest of your life, keep that. But
So, Joe,
however,
what's your contact information? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
mhm. But if you see that Medicare Advantage plan is better, that money can go back into your pocket, uh, I would get rid of that, but compare them first. Don't you know? Or some in some cases keep it because sometimes you have to wait. You know, some people who are veterans, they have to wait certain periods to go to see the doctor, and they have to go all the way to the VA hospital. You can have both. You know, you have a doctor right around the corner, but you waiting to go see your doctor, and you know go ahead and get that Medicare Advantage plan because you can go to the doctor right around the corner. You don't have to wait. The next day you can go instead of waiting on a waiting list. So that's
Okay.
another good point that I think should be brought out.
Now say that one more time. So you say you gotta, so you can avoid waiting lists.
Yeah, some people are veterans, and veterans are treated well, but there's sometimes they have to be on waiting list to go see and they have to go to a VA hospital. And that just say
Ah,
they stay right here, and they got to go way over to Decatur or
yeah,
way to
yeah.
Smyrna to go to the doctor. Whereas get both. Sometimes your glasses will be cheaper with the Medicare Advantage plan, or
Okay.
and so you need to you can have both, and where you can use that benefit when it's more feasible. But if you have a doctor that's right around the corner, you need to go. You don't have to wait for the VA. You can go to you can have both of the cards.
Ooh, now I hope y'all heard that, veterans. You go ahead and apply. And I hope people heard about that penalty. I never heard about that. So if you are at age to apply for Medicare, which is 65, and you're not working, you need to apply if you think you're gonna use it at any point because you're gonna get penalized for not applying at that time.
Right.
So and then veterans, hey, what's the benefit? It's not going to hurt to apply. Applying doesn't cost you anything, I don't think. Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't cost you anything
Mhm.
to apply because you're just getting A and B. It doesn't cost you because you've already
But you'll
got.
have to pay that Part B. Yeah,
I keep forgetting. Sorry.
yeah, you
Thank
have to
you.
pay that Part B. I had my father-in-law. He was in a postman, and he my mother-in-law. He was seeing all these benefits he was getting, but he never paid for Part B. Uh, and to maybe he maybe longer than he should have, and he was penalized. He got it because
Wow.
he needed because he was his even though he had still had postal the insurance he had with the post office, but he still needed he had still had to get Part B. You got to have Part A and B to get
Wait a minute.
mhm.
Okay, so I pulled up the whiteboard to put your contact information in there. I don't know if the
Mhm.
people seeing this can see
Yeah.
it, but I want to get your contact information. I don't want to run out of time for that. But I got to go
Mhm.
back to that, what you just said about the postal worker. So wait a
Mhm.
minute. So can you see the whiteboard?
I can.
Okay, so what is your contact information for people?
Crawford Joe 40 at yahoo.com.
Okay, that's Crawford Joe 40 at yahoo.com. Again, that's Crawford, CrawfordJoe 40 at yahoo.com. And that's
Yes.
how you want people to reach you if they want to get,
Or you can
okay,
call at 678
678
852
852
1442.
1442. That's Joe Crawford at 678 852 1442.
That's
And Joe
correct.
has helped our family. Like I said, he's been working with us since I know 2017, 2018. And then he might have been longer than that. And then he's helped some of our other members Without Trace Ministries and has just done a very, a man of integrity, done an excellent job. Again, he's not an insurance agent, part like the typical agent that you see, broker. He's a broker where he can show you all types of products and comparison.
Yeah,
Okay, so even if you didn't do, even if he gave you the comparison and you decide to go with somebody else, hey, at least you got
that's right.
information, and knowledge is power. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. Remember, that's again his email, CrawfordJoe40 at yahoo.com, and his phone number is 678 852 1442. Now, if somebody calls you outside of Georgia, what will you be able to tell them?
Well, if I'm not licensed in those states, I have agents that work with me as well that's in other states, and they have integrity as well, and I would refer
You
them
can
to.
refer them.
Mhm.
Excellent, excellent. So let's go back to this postal worker conversation, and then uh, we'll allow ourselves to close out this section on Medicare, and then we'll come back to do a second session on Medicaid. Now, because then I want to ask, do you have to enroll in that and all that stuff? So with if some so a person, what you said was the person was a retired postal worker. So
Mhm.
was he getting Cobra from the postal work job? Cobra is like after you have to pay for that, but your company offers it so you can still get the same type of insurance that you used to have. It's pretty expensive though, but that's
Right.
what it's called, Cobra. So did he have that, or how did that happen where he still had that other coverage? And then why would he get penalized for not getting Medicare when he's already got coverage?
Okay. Well, uh, when you turn 65, uh, it's like a set period that the government requires that you get Part B. Usually, I mean, as long as you're still working, but once you stop working, it's now I'm he had some of that. I'm not sure if he had Cobra or what, but he still had some of his benefits with the post office. I don't know all the exact details, but I knew
Okay.
because he constantly would ask, but he would listen as when I'm talking to my mother-in-law. But he never had Part B, and I would always encourage him. He didn't want to pay, and once he found out that he had to pay, I apologize, I can't say the exact amount, but
That's
it is
okay.
you will be penalized if if you don't have Part B when you were
Able to get it.
get it right,
They won't say no, you can't have it, but you're gonna pay basically a penalty, and then you got to start paying those premiums. So
right,
okay. So let's in wrapping up in summary, you have Part A that you've already been paying for when you were working, that's hospitalization all that time.
right,
Part B is your primary care coverage, you might as well say. And so
mhm,
then you do have to pay for that. And if you're getting Social Security to come out of your Social Security check or
that's
whatever, you still have to pay it some way, right? And then
right,
C is optional. That's your Medicare Advantage programs where you get all that stuff in the mail from all kind of different places, and they're trying to sell you their product. And
right,
lay all that stuff out in an array. But if you don't know insurance, it's always good to get somebody that does know insurance. Like
right,
I'm not saying you have to talk to Joe, but it's
yes,
somebody like a Joe, a broker that can tell you about all those plans and does what? A needs analysis. Say a
yes,
needs analysis that
yes,
first talks about your needs, and then if they start selling you something before that needs analysis, that's not the person. All right. And so those are some very good points. And then give us those open enrollment dates again and the optional change dates, Joe.
Uh, AEP, annual enrollment period, is October 15th through December 7th. And if January OEP is January 1st to March 15th.
All right. Well, you've heard it here on Wellness Wednesday and Truth of the Day with Coach Tina McCray, and I am so grateful to have my friend, my adopted cousin, Joe Crawford, on, who has been a blessing to our family. And I do have to tell you all before we go about the BJM Dementia Services. I should have that already ready to pull up for you. However, I want you to know about this, because if you are a caregiver and you are caring for someone with dementia of any kind in any state in the United States, you are eligible for, if you're a primary caregiver, you are eligible for the BJM Dementia Services Caregiver Scholarship. It's a dementia caregiver scholarship. I must tell you about this. I would be remorse not to share this with you, because I know you all as caregivers, you like, I don't have time. If you have time to tell somebody about how much you don't have time to do something, about how tired you are, that time that you spend talking about that, you could click on this right here. Go to watmcares.org. That's a fast way to do it. Or you can go to our website at Without Trace Ministries and click on WATM Cares, and you'll see WATM Cares, and you'll see my mama's beautiful face. That's Barbara Jean Metcalf, the late Barbara Jean Metcalf, who had Alzheimer's. And so we created a second nonprofit to support people like you who have families with dementia. And so we not only just offer this scholarship, it's a respite scholarship. It's a few questions we've had. If you can go out on our YouTube channel and you can listen to a person testify. Satina um, Sower Thrower, sorry, Satina Thrower, who applied and it blessed her and her mama right when they needed it. So you just have to say that you are, attest that you are the primary caregiver, and that you, and fill out the application, and you'll get up to $200 for a respite. And you thinking $200, what am I gonna do with that? You can go get your nails done and help pay somebody else to sit with your loved one while you do it. You can let somebody sit with your loved one the whole day while you go have fun with your friends and pay them for that. You can use adult day care for a day or two. Matter of fact, she was able to pay for, I think, a few days or maybe a week, where her a scholarship or something she had was running out, and she paid for adult day camp for her mom. So there's a lot in times like these. Somebody's giving you $200 so that you can get a break. That's the Holy Ghost for
Mm.
you. And so we're telling you, this is what our ministry does at Without Trace Ministries. We want to bless you. And if you are someone that you don't need this, but you know somebody and you want to help somebody, then you can, as soon as you go there, there's a donate button here. There's a donate button here. And by the way, we are sponsored by Alter Dementia, Dr. Fayron Epps, where we alter the way we worship. And that's part of what we're doing today by sharing this information, and visiting nurse health systems. If you need some CNAs, you need, Visit Nurse Health Systems was a lifesaver for us. And they believe, their mantra is, they believe in equity of healthcare, whether you live in Bankhead, Buckhead, or under a bridge. And I can tell you for a fact, because I'm a part of what they do, that these people are serious, and they send out social workers. That you get a social worker, and you can do this by going through the Empower Line. If you go Empower Line, I believe it's empowerline.org. Go to the Empower Line. These people are in Georgia. Okay, for sure. So if you're in Georgia, it's Visit Nurse Health Systems. And you go on that Powerline website and you ask for Visit Nurse Health System support. So you can donate. And then we got a new thing here where you can find resources. All types of resources for people that are dealing with seniors. Joe, I got to get you on here as a link for resources. on our resource page. We promise to provide resources for people who are going through these type of challenges, and it's easy to find resources for you. Legal, financial, all types is right there for you on this page. So we want to say thank you again to our special guest, Joe Crawford, and thank you who are
One
on with us.
quick thing. I
Yes, go
apologize.
ahead.
It was March 31st. I said March 15th. It's March 31st for OEP. I'm sorry.
Okay, OEP. So I guess I call it optional enrollment program or open enrollment. You
O-
have from open from
Open
January.
enrollment.
Open enrollment. So it's the annual. I'm used to it in the insurance and open, but so from now, October 15th to December 7th is your annual enrollment. And then
That's
you
correct.
have open enrollment. That means you can change your mind.
That's
All
correct.
right. So if you don't like what you got, this is your chance at January 1st to March 31st. That's a blessing too. Because usually once you enroll in something, you locked in, honey, for a whole year. So
That's
this
right.
gives you a chance to change. Amen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, and we'll see you next time on Wellness Wednesday. I'm Apostle Tina McCrae of Without Trace Ministries. And if you want to reach us, you can go to our website at www.withoutraceministries.com.